Alrighty, guys. Mezzo Matt back here with another video for y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching this. We've got a major weather update today. We now have Tropical Storm Francine officially on the board here on your screen. We have hurricane watches and tropical storm watches issued for Louisiana, including New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles. Basically, the whole coastal line of Louisiana is under some type of tropical system watch or hurricane watch. We do got a tropical storm watch as well back here into the southern part of Texas, and we'll talk about all this here for you guys. I do want to go ahead and start out by saying right now, this is projected to be a significant size hurricane here coming into Louisiana on Wednesday. Landfall is expected to be around Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday night. We are going to have more than likely potentially close to a major hurricane, if not around that status once this makes landfall. The continuing of this National Hurricane Center updated track, continuing to update the intensity of this. We went from a 75-mile-an-hour storm last night with the projections to now almost a Category 2 hurricane projection-wise. So we are continuing to watch this storm intensify. We will probably have a hurricane either by tonight or early tomorrow morning, and then this will race its way off to the Louisiana coastline before bringing heavy rainfall impacts, tropical tornadoes, storm surge up to 10 feet in the New Orleans and Lafayette area and along the coastal areas. And clearly the winds over 100 miles an hour will more than likely be a thing as well as we go through the next couple of days. So if you are in Texas or the east coastline of Texas, get prepared. If you are along the Louisiana coastline into central Louisiana, into Arkansas and Mississippi, this is your time to prepare now. Your window is closing. Your opportunity to get boarded up, whatever you're going to do, leave. That opportunity is now, because when tomorrow gets here, we're going to start to see those outer bands, those impacts come into Louisiana and the Texas coastline. We've actually already got outer bands moving into the Brownsville and Raymondville area here in Texas, where that tropical storm watch is in effect right now. So if you guys can see, last night when we went live, this is a whole new satellite imagery looking here. We are a very organized storm. Tropical Storm Francine, sustained winds at 50 miles an hour as of the 11 o'clock advisory this morning, pressure down to 102. Now, the National Hurricane Center does have airplanes in there getting recon data right now, so when we get the 2 o'clock advisory this afternoon, I do expect this storm to be a lot stronger than potentially than what it is right now. Continuing to see very, very strong convection developing in the center, around the center of circulation here. Once this makes that easterly turn toward the Louisiana area, this will become a hurricane by tomorrow morning. Category 1 status is what we're expecting by 7 p.m. At some point tomorrow, and then this could reach Cat 2 status. Now, a lot of the models, we've been talking about this a lot this week, a lot of the models have, the GFS, the European, the Icon, the CMC, they all have a major hurricane on their model runs. So, the fact that we're continuing to see the hurricane intensity track change over and over and over again makes me think we could either have a Cat 2 or low-end Cat 3 at landfall if this undergoes some rapid intensification between now and Wednesday afternoon at landfall. The impacts are not going to stop there, too, guys. This will become a tropical storm, or it'll weaken down to a tropical storm, come through parts of Mississippi into Arkansas. Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri, and Indiana will have impacts from this as we go towards Friday and Saturday, where we could have some rainfall, some tropical tornadoes possible, as well as a little bit of wind. This isn't going to be too big of a deal once it makes it up here in the Ohio Valley, but a lot of rainfall and the chance for tornadoes will be a possibility as well. I'm more concerned about that tornado risk, especially in the New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Gulfport area, especially as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. We do have tropical storm watches for Beaumont, Texas, Port Arthur, Lake Charles, hurricane watches in effect for Lafayette, New Liberia, Opelousas there, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, under that Golden Meadow. If you were anywhere along the coastline, these will transition to hurricane warnings once we get to tomorrow night. That 24-hour period before landfall will upgrade these to warnings. And then, like I said, going inland here will have impacts, and we'll talk more about that over the next couple of days. But Tropical Storm Francine, guys, really getting itself together here. This is, once again, your last kind of opportunity here to get prepped for this. If you are not prepped for this, this is going to become potentially either a significant hurricane as far as status-wise, or just in general become a decent flood risk for much of Louisiana. Now, if you guys have to remember, we had a lot of rainfall last week in Louisiana as well, so we're going to add another 7 to 12 plus inches of rainfall on total of this as well. So the ground is already saturated. We're going to have probably a lot of power outages. The trees are going to be down because of that saturation. So be very, very mindful of that here. Now, I want to show you guys kind of a model run here. This is going to be the NAM 3K here. This kind of gives us an idea on when to kind of expect the timing of things. We're still waiting for some other models to get in a range, so tomorrow we'll have a better idea. Then tonight on the live stream, we'll have a little bit of a better idea. But the NAM 3K kind of show these outer bands coming in around sunrise tomorrow morning, getting down here into Reynosa, Matamoros, Corpus Christi, seeing some outer bands. These could have the potential for some tropical tornadoes tomorrow morning, so be mindful of that. Continuing to watch outer bands move in. I want to stop right here. This is around 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This is where the models really show this becoming an official hurricane status. Category 1 hurricane could be anytime between tomorrow morning and early tomorrow afternoon. And that the NAM here shows that clear as day. By tomorrow afternoon, we have a Cat 1 hurricane moving its way east. Now, what happens between tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday night landfall? That's about a 24-hour window between Cat 1 status and question mark on what it's going to be when it makes landfall. We could have, I would not rule this out, a Category 2 hurricane at landfall, or even a Cat 3 if this undergoes rapid intensification through overnight of Tuesday night into Wednesday and through Wednesday before it makes landfall. We're going to have a little bit of shear interaction and some things that could kind of keep this storm a little bit lower than what's projected, but I don't see that happening because the waters are so warm. It's going to kind of overset those boundaries, and we'll have the potential for an intensifying storm. Continuing to watch this, outer bands and heavy rain working their way into Louisiana as soon as Wednesday morning. We'll be on live stream tomorrow night and Wednesday all day for this as well, so you guys will be covered for this. Official landfall doesn't look like it's going to be until around the afternoon hours of your Wednesday, around 5 to 6 p.m. And you can clearly see landfall being between Lafayette, Abbeville, St. Martinsville here, very highly populated areas here. Eastern Iowa really taking a beating in Lafayette. Baton Rouge, New Orleans getting into these outer bands here. So we're going to have significant wind. We're going to have tornadoes. We're going to have a lot of everything that you get with a tropical system. So this is just kind of showing you guys where we're going to see that potential at here. The NAM, like I said, doing a pretty good job with the intensity. I would not rule out, like I said, this being a Cat 2 or Cat 3 hurricane. So be very, very mindful. We could go from a low-end hurricane to a major hurricane. Those do change the storm surge totals, all of that stuff, kind of vice versa here. So we'll keep you guys updated on the latest for that. We're going to be doing a live stream tonight around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time, so do look out for that live stream as well here on all platforms. We'll be keeping you guys, like I said, updated on the latest on that. Now, I want to go to the National Hurricane Center here and kind of give you guys an idea on what we're looking at as far as the overall projections here. Give me 1 second to this. There we go. But the overall kind of projections here as far as the Hurricane Center goes, the arrival of our winds here. We are looking at tropical storm force winds setting in this afternoon across parts of Texas through tomorrow morning. Tropical storm force winds make it into Louisiana by tomorrow night around 8 p.m. A little bit kind of different hours could be varied here depending on how quickly the storm moves. I just wanted to give you guys an idea on when we're going to be seeing those winds. The storm surge maps are out along with those watches that were just issued as the 11 o'clock advisory. If you were anywhere in the blue, Galveston Bay, 1 to 3 feet of storm surge is going to be possible. 3 to 5 feet in the High Island to Cameron. And then the biggest area of storm surge here is going to be along the Vermilion Bay and Lake Pontchartrain area, where we could have over a foot of storm surge potentially if this storm continues to increase like it's potentially going to. Back over here in New Orleans, we have 4 to 7 feet of storm surge and 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, watching that onshore flow that will be pushing as this hurricane moves its way north. Rainfall totals right now by the National Hurricane Center, these are going to vary still. Continuing to watch the biggest of totals here, potentially up to a foot of rainfall in southern Louisiana from New Orleans to Lake Charles. This will advance northward, and we can have the potential for some heavy rainfall as far as Kentucky as we go into Thursday and Friday. We do have the potential as well for life-threatening flash flooding. We have a level 3 moderate risk as the flash flooding total goes up here for your Thursday and Wednesday. I would not be surprised if we get some type of high risk for flash flooding. That's the highest level that the National Weather Service can issue here. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens somewhere in the Lafayette or New Orleans area based off of, like I said, saturation levels from last week. Now, I want to give you guys an idea on just the different models that we could be seeing as far as the intensity track goes. European model, as of the latest last night, has a 979 or 974 millibar low, which right now, the status of the low pressure is at 103. So we have 50-mile-an-hour winds at 103 status. If we drop this down to about, 20 to 25 knots, or 20 to 25 millibars lower than what it is, you would see a significant increase in the wind. So this is why we're really thinking the potential for a major hurricane Cat 2, Cat 3 status could be reached if this rapid intensification does happen. Low pressure comes inland, then we watch this go up into the Tennessee Valley, Mississippi Valley, into Ohio, Kentucky area here. Be very, very mindful. We could have severe weather as far as Kentucky or as far as eastern Tennessee and the Carolinas, where that tornado risk could actually extend because this wind field will expand out and that outer bands will kind of extend out into a broad low once this becomes into or moves into the United States. Now that's the European model run. I want to show you guys the GFS run that is actually updating right now, which is super exciting. We can see a new run here. Pull the 12Z up here for you guys. This is the GFS really showing a rapid intensification process as well. Got pressure now down to 977 as well. So this would be a Cat 2, Cat 3 hurricane potentially if that model is correct as well. So you guys are continuing to see the trend here for a strengthening hurricane as this approaches the Louisiana coastline. And I I cannot stress this enough to you guys. If you guys are not prepared for this storm in Louisiana, this is not a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane like everybody thinks it could be. But this is going to cause problems. We're going to have damage. We're going to have flooding. We're going to have all of the above when it comes to this system. So being prepared now, having batteries, having food for 5 days plus, just everything you need, candles, anything you can do to keep yourself prepared in case something happens is going to be your best bet. So I'm going to leave you guys with that today. We're not going to talk about the overall pattern going into next week right now. We're just going to focus on Tropical Storm Francine for the next couple of days. We'll talk more about that on the live stream tonight. Make sure y'all do stay tuned for my updates and in the live stream tonight around 7 p.m. Central Time. And we'll potentially have some more updates here for you guys with this breaking situation. But I do appreciate y'all for watching this. Stay safe, guys. Be weather aware. And I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m.